Mm. What up, everybody? YouTube Live, how's it going? Right now is Saturday, November. What is this? November 9th? If my estimation is correct, yes. Um, it's funny, every Saturday morning, I always hear like my neighbors having like this little parties going on, and they like blast out the music. It's nice, they're having their, I don't know, birthdays or quinceanera, what have you. On the weekdays, it's usually lawnmowers, man. Yeah, that's why I have to wait till the lawn mowing stops to actually film my reviews or do live stream like this one. Um, this is the first of many of the live streams I will be doing this weekend. Tomorrow I'll be back also doing live stream reviews of both The Walking Dead and Watchmen after I took some hiatus. So you can expect those as well. But right now, I want to discuss this topic briefly with you, and I want to hear your thoughts about it. I'm curious to know what you think of this because this past week, and I'm sure most of you movie fans would have heard by now that uh, they are resurrecting the late great James Dean using CGI visual effects. And by they, I mean, let me read off a variety here. Magic City Films. It's a production company that they've acquired the rights to James Dean's image. They acquired the rights from James Dean's family estate to cast James Dean, through CGI visual effects posthumously in their Vietnam War movie called Finding Jack. Now, Finding Jack is based on Gareth Crocker's novel about the abandonment of over 10,000 canine dogs, 10,000 canine units during the Vietnam War. So the book is basically about military dogs, essentially. It's a dog, but also hero kind of movie. From the premise, it sounds like it's gonna be one of those dramas that gonna, go straight for the heart. Um, so this was a big deal. It went trending on Twitter this past week. Hashtag James Dean, and everybody's like asking, like, is this right? Is this okay? Is this an abomination? Is this crossing the line? Should Hollywood be doing this? And then, some even go so far as like, oh my god, the cash grabbing by Hollywood knows no bounds. I tweeted that, by the way, because my first reaction was a bit appalled. I was like, wow, you're gonna use CGI image of James Dean, resurrect him for the benefit of your movie. Yeah, of course the reactions will be negative. It's obvious, and people will be like attacking it, thinking of it as some cash grabbing opportunist, that takes advantage of this late great icon for marketing and you to advance your movie's purpose. It has nothing to do with uh, James Dean. That's what the fans are saying. It's like you're doing this for yourself, and that was also one of my reactions at first. But then as I thought about it some more, I'm like, is it wrong, or maybe it's not that bad? Well, let me give you the backlash. I'm sorry, the response from the filmmaker of Finding Jack. His name is director Anton Ernst, and he has responded to some of the backlash regarding this plan to bring back James Dean to life using CGI visual effects for his movie Finding Jack. And he mentioned on the Hollywood Reporter, and I quote, "We don't understand it. We never intended for this to be a marketing gimmick. I think they would have wanted, they as in James Dean's family, the family, James Dean's estate. I think they would have wanted their family's members' legacy to live on. That's what we've done here as well. We've brought a whole new generation of film goers to be aware of James Dean. At the end of the day, what we really want people to know is the movie about love and friendship and the veterans that served in the Vietnam War, and especially the dogs that were with them. We never want to lose that emphasis, and this social media reaction becomes a distraction of what the story is about. Um, so that's his response to the backlash. Now, I start out with the reaction, kind of like, joining the bandwagon of people attacking on Twitter, like, oh, this is not cool, what are you doing, leave James Dean alone, leave James Dean's memory legacy alone. But now, as I thought about it some more, as I mentioned to you, I'm thinking maybe it's not that bad after all. Okay, let me put it this way. Do you remember a few years ago, when I believe it's Coachella? Coachella is this big music festival here in Southern California every year, every spring. And a few years ago, Snoop Dogg had a performance, performing Tupac's song, in front of the millions of crowds that were there. And guess who showed up to perform with Snoop Dogg on that stage? It was the hologram image of Tupac. And you know what? It was nicely done. It was nicely done. I mean, they even sized the hologram to make sure that it fits the actual height of Tupac when he was alive. And so it's not like a gigantic or over something that overtowers Snoop Dogg. No, no, no. It's like Snoop Dogg is seeing a pal next to him, singing with him or rapping with him. I should say, not singing. Same. So, and they also choreograph the whole thing where it syncs perfectly, with Snoop's rhyming, and then Tupac's coming in, and then it looked as if they were really bouncing off one another, or each other. It was so good. It was really, really nicely done. And was there a backlash? No, everybody was praising it. Everybody on Twitter was like, "Oh my god!" Because the we always have this kind of running joke or humor, if you will, that James Dean and Elvis Presley and Marilyn Monroe and Tupac, they're all just still alive, hanging on, or chilling about, I should say, chilling about on an island somewhere, the island of icons. Um, and Tupac kept releasing albums long even after he died. So it fits the whole stigma. I was like, oh, Tupac's still alive. Look at him. Even though it's a freaking hologram. But the hologram was nicely done, and it was widely received by the fans. And so I remember that, now, as I'm thinking over this James Dean story, and I'm like, so it brings me to the point of like, why were we outraged about James Dean being resurrected using CGI visual effects if we were not outraged about Tupac getting resurrected, by hologram? So you can't have that double standard, um, if you like Tupac as hologram, then you should not have, or you should not mind James Dean CGI for this movie. In my opinion, you gotta, that should pretty much settle the case right there. um, the second point is that the filmmakers have received permission from James Dean's family estate. Okay, that also another thing that should settle the case, so settle the argument. Like, they got um, a green light or like approval. The family of James Dean says, yes, you can go ahead, move forward with resurrecting whatever our grandpa or grandpa. It's like use his image, with visual effects, CGI, bring him back to life in your movie. By all means, I give you my blessings. So if they're okay with that, why shouldn't we be okay with that? You know what I'm saying? So again, recap. If we're okay with Tupac hologram, then we should be okay with CGI visual effects James Dean. Number two, if James Dean's family is okay with that, then we should be okay with that too. like what? We're gonna go against James Dean's family on this? They're happy. They're not taking the filmmakers to court. So that's number two, right? Um, and I believe the filmmaker of this movie says, and let me get that quote. If okay, here you go. Okay, and the filmmaker Anton Ernst went on to say, and I quote: "We search high and low for the perfect character to portray the role of Rogan, which has some extreme complex character arcs. And after months of research, we decided on James Dean." So basically, the character that James Dean CGI visual effects will play in this movie is a character named Rogan. I haven't read the book yet because it's based on the book. So if you have read the book, please enlighten me on who this Rogan character is. So apparently, according to the director Anton Ernst, they have when they have gone above and beyond to try to, I don't know, maybe they even did some open casting audition. They looked over thousands of actors trying to find the right one to fit this character Rogan, and they come down to the conclusion like only James Dean would be perfect, or a James Dean type person would be perfect to play this character Rogan. And let me continue. He also said, and I quote: "We feel very honored that his family, his as in James Dean, supports us and will take every precaution to ensure that his legacy as one of the most epic film stars to date is kept firmly intact. The family views this as his fourth movie, a movie he never got to make. We do not intend to let his fans down." For those of you who don't know, James Dean died at the age of 24. And by the time that because he had a car crash, I don't know, maybe he wasn't wearing his seatbelt. I have no idea the details on that. But um, by the time he died, he had made three movies only. Prior to becoming a movie star, he was a TV star. He made a f- I don't want to say a few, several TV shows. So the movies he did, those three became classic. I mean, like, how awesome was that, man? I mean, that's like Al Pacino's early careers, Al Pacino in the first years of his career, he made Godfather 1, Godfather 2, Serpico, Dog Day Afternoon. I mean, like one hit after another. That's what happened also to James Dean. He made East of Eden, he made Rebel Without a Cause, and then he made Giant, and he got Oscar nominated for both Rebel Without a Cause and Giant after he died. It was posthumous Oscar nominations. And I remember watching Rebel Without a Cause for the first time ever when I was in college. It was for this film study that I took for elective. And my God, dude, if you haven't seen James Dean in Rebel Without a Cause and you claim to be a film aficionado, you are missing out, man. Every person who claims to be a film fan, a film aficionado, needs to at least have watched Rebel Without a Cause once. Because his performance in that movie was, I mean, it blew my mind. It blew my mind, and it was a reason why a lot of people to this day still go to Griffith Park Observatory, even though they may not like the planetarium, or they may not know anything about, or they may not have any interest in astronomy. But that's, hey, Rebel Without a Cause, man. So such an iconic film, iconic performance. He only made three films, but those three became instant classics. And he himself, after he died, became this timeless icon. The one that people always associate with Hollywood golden age. So that's a little bit of James Dean for you there. Hey, Roberts, make the cut. Good morning. And Giant, yes, East of Eden, Rebel Without a Cause, and Giant, great movies. So back to the whole controversy again. The filmmaker of Finding Jack really, really believes in his heart of hearts that nobody else but James Dean could play this role of Rogan in this movie about Vietnam War veterans' dogs. I haven't read the book. So that's what he believes. He believes like only James Dean could pull this off. So we got the family's permission, and we're gonna bring him back to life using CGI visual effects. The last time that, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but to my memory, the last time Hollywood did this was when Star Wars. Remember that? Rogue One. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. They resurrected young Princess Leia using CGI. They cast an actress and then kind of like replace kind of her face, and they cast an actress that kind of fits the profile of young Carrie Fisher, and then kind of digitalize her to transform her into Leia. I remember when that happened. Remember that at the end of Rogue One, a Star Wars story movie, 2016. It it received mixed responses. Some people hate it because they think it looks too creepy. Some people love it because they're like, "Whoa, look how far the technology has come." Yes, Robert says Peter Cushing. Yeah, they also resurrected Peter Cushing too. So apparently, Star Wars have done it. So that's point number three, right? Point number one: if they resurrected Tupac hologram in Coachella and everybody loved it, then we should be fine with James Dean CGI visual effects. Number two, if the family of James Dean gives the filmmakers permission, if they're okay, if they're happy with it, if they give their blessings, then why are we outraged? The families are okay with it. Um, and point number three, Star Wars have done it too. So this whole thing with James Dean being brought back to life through CGI visual effects is not like groundbreaking or like the first time it's ever done. Although I would say that probably this is the first time maybe that a dead actor has been resurrected using CGI for a, for a significant supporting role. Whereas Peter Cushing and Carrie Fisher in those Star Wars movies, or young Leia, as you say, they were just there for a few minutes, right? They were just there for a few minutes, just a little like moment to get the fans geek out, to get the fans like, oh my god, look at him! Oh, it's like he never died. Oh my god, it's young Princess Leia. Just for like fan service purposes. But James Dean as Rogan in this movie, he will have a bigger part. He will be an integral part of the story as a whole. So at least I'm assuming. I haven't read the book yet. And so that would like require a longer screen time. And so my question to the filmmakers would be the cost, the budget. I mean, holy crap! If you're resurrecting somebody as iconic as James Dean using CGI visual effects, um, you're gonna need some heavy backing, man, because it's that computer work is not cheap. It's not cheap, especially for long extended scenes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really curious. That's what I would ask. Like, what's the budget for this, and what's the visual effects company that you guys are working with? That would be, if I were to interview the director, that would be probably my question. Um, And I'm also curious to see um, how that CGI James Dean fits into or fits with the other actors, fits or blends with the other actors who are in that scene with him. Because I saw the movie The Irishman, and the de-aging technology for Robert De Niro when Robert De Niro's character was a young war hero in World War II, it did not look good. It looked kind of creepy. It looked like he looked like a Polar Express character. Remember Polar Express with Tom Hanks? So he was in the scene with a couple of actual live action human, German soldiers, and it just feels like it looks like the German soldiers are in the same scene with a video game character. That's how bad Robert De Niro de aging technology looked. So I don't know how. So that's I'm trying to visualize in my head how that would work. CGI James Dean in the same scene with the human actors. It has to be the most advanced high tech CGI visual effects ever because even the Irishman still could not pull it off, in my opinion. So if that is the same quality that we're gonna see with regards to James Dean in this movie, then that is gonna be a distraction. Then that is gonna take you out of the experience. When you're watching a scene, you're supposed to be immersed or engaged in this scene. But then, but then if it looks bad, James Dean's CGI visual effects, then that's all you could see in that scene. It's like, oh, instead of actually, you know what I'm saying? Instead of actually getting along with the plot, that's all that you could think about. So it becomes a distraction, and it takes you out of the experience of watching the movie, and it would not be good. So I'm wondering how that would play out or how that would work out. So back to the whole point of being outraged. Um, I think I would be. I think I would remain or still be outraged if the project or the movie does use an image of James Dean or Elvis or Tupac or Marilyn Monroe just for gimmick purposes. Just for the trailer or just to kind of like a clickbait, just to bait you to see the movie. Then yeah, I think I would be still angry if that's the only purpose you would use the image for. But it doesn't sound like that is what they're doing here with Finding Jack. So to conclude, I think we need to give it a shot. We got to give this filmmaker a chance. Um, at the same time, I don't blame you for being angry. A lot of people also tweeted like, why could not they just have cast James Franco, who played James Dean a long time ago in a TV movie, or some actor who looks like James Dean? It seems that you know using CGI visual effects to use the paraphrase from South Park series, they took our jobs. You're taking the jobs away from the actors out there who could have played or who could have been cast as James Dean in the role of this Rogan fella. You know, they could have just gone with that. They could have cast somebody who looks like James Dean and to play Rogan. I don't know, but that's one option, one route. So if that is your argument, I get it, man. I get it. I totally get it. Is this the future though? Is this the future? Because Hollywood always makes biopic, right? This year alone, we have Judy Garland biopic with Renee Zellweger, and people are like, "Oh my God, Renee's gonna win another Oscar." But what if Judy Garland in that movie had been played by CGI visual effects Judy Garland? Would that be the future of biopic movies now? Is this the thing that James Dean, this Finding Jack movie, that is this the trend that this Finding Jack movie will spark? I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you guys be okay if biopic movies from this point forward, instead of casting an actor to play whatever it is, that late great star, that they would just use CGI visual effects? Would you be okay with that? Is that a trend that needs to happen? Is that a direction that Hollywood needs to go to? Um, I don't know. I don't have the answer for that. But I think right now I'm on the camp of, let's give this project Finding Jack and the director Anton Ernst a shot, a chance. Let's see whether or not they are able to integrate James Dean visual effects CGI really well into the story, and with the rest of the characters. We'll see. We'll see. And we'll move forward from that. Once we've seen the movie, we'll judge it, and we'll move forward from that, whether or not this should be the thing for Hollywood going forward. Fair enough. All right. Thank you, Robert, for chatting with me. For those of you who didn't chat with me, what do you guys think about this topic? I'm really curious to hear your thoughts about him. Share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you like that they resurrect James Dean um, through CGI visual effects, or are you not happy about that, and why? And also, my second question to you is, which other dead actors that you would like to see resurrected using CGI visual effects? Um, I was thinking about that earlier before this video, and I was like, okay, which other actors I would love to see? I probably would want to see Jack Lemmon. Jack Lemmon was one of my favorite actors of all time. I kind of miss him, and like, if they could resurrect Jack Lemmon using CGI visual effects, that would be interesting. Or maybe Richard Pryor. I don't know. But then again, Mike Epps is gonna play Richard Pryor in a Richard Pryor biopic. Or maybe we don't need to cast Mike Epps because we can just use the CGI. So yeah, which other dead actors out there that you would like to also see resurrected using CGI visual effects? Let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. And as always, subscribe to my channel, press that like button, ring that bell. And if you can help support me, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this.